Hey everyone, this is Bishop. This is my screen capture for my final week of development for advanced server-side languages. I've completed my task manager application to include the complete task and email functionality. So we can log in now as Wendy, who's just a team member, and we can see these tasks and we can complete one. When we complete one, it takes us to this. Oh, I need to edit that actually real quick in the complete task.php. This needs to say complete task. Like that. Oops. So now we can refresh that. Okay, so this message or this task has been completed. Alright, and then we'll save changes. And it brings us back to the available tasks, and I should get an email right about now normally. Should have. There it goes. Okay. There's the email. So I got it from an email from Wendy. It says long description test has been completed. Wendy sends this message. This task has been completed. It will be seen during the screen capture. So email totally works if you complete a task as a team member. So if we log out and log back in as a manager, I added the complete task functionality here as well, and in the completed tasks I fixed this so that you can see who actually completed it. So let's come back over here. I also fixed the grid, so if we complete this task, once this task is completed, you can see how the grid has been fixed. So we'll save changes on that. And then here, even though this is long, the grid is still fixed, so I figured out how to fix that. And then also the completed task, that task that we just did. Where's it at? Did it not just go in? It should have. Into completed tasks. I think it was FASD. I'm pretty sure we just completed one of these. We'll find out which one it is in just a minute when that email comes through. There were 12 and now there's 13, so I know it definitely works. I'm gonna do this one too. This task is there it is. So I got an email. This is an example has been completed. Stances once this task is completed, we can see how the grid has been fixed, and now this one is way faster. So this task has been completed. And there are now 14 in here. And so you can see where this is the one we just completed by Stan. Cool. And of course you can still create a new task that still works and everything. The way that couple things that we fixed this week are, so when you in that task list, was it the task list? No, it was in create task. So in create task, to make the member who completed the task show up, I redid my database query, and so I'm just saying select from the database where the ID is equal to the row comp user ID from users, and then results is this is that actual query being run and then created by. I'm putting all of those results into a result array, and then I'm accessing the username and printing that out here. And then for the complete task button, it's just a styled like it's a anchor styled like a button with a task ID being passed into the URL as a parameter, and then the site controller and the complete task method. So you come here to complete task, and that sends you to the complete task view, which is just a form, which is real simple. It just says PHP echo task ID. See, so that works. It's because I'm using a row array rather than a result array. I'm using a row array, that's why I don't have to have a 0, an index of 0 there. I could put the task name here like this, !php echo $task, and then it would be task name, I believe is the field. Let's see if that works real quick. So if I refresh, actually I'll just log out and log back in. So if I go to complete task, so now it's got the task title in the title bar, so that's a little bit better. But when we're actually completing a task, so this form action is site comp task. So you come to the site controller and the comp task. I'm loading the task model, taking that parameter out of the URL, and then passing it into the completed by method in the task model. So in the task model, we'll come down to the completed by. So completed by, I load this helper date so that I can use the date. And then I format the date to date atom, so I can then start a new date, format it, and then stick it into the database under the task comp column. And then also the message, this message I'm taking from the form, if this input post message, and then the user ID comes out of the session. And then I'm updating the row where that task ID, the column task ID, is equal to the task ID that I passed into this function. And then I am calling this new function that I have in the task model, send confirmation email, and I'm passing in the task ID in this array of task data right here that I stored. So then I'm selecting, in order to get all the information that I need in order to send the email, like who the user that completed the task is, the email address of the task owner. I'm selecting from the database so I can get that information. So I'm selecting from the database where task ID is equal to the task ID passed in. Then I'm selecting from the task table all of that entire row for that where the task ID is equal to the task ID passed in. And then I'm taking some information out of their task. I'm getting the task owner and the task name. And then I'm doing another selection from the users table where the ID is equal to the ID of the task owner that's passed in, or that I just got from the other SQL query that I did. And then I'm setting the config for email. So did I move that? This load helper date. Oh, so yeah. Then I'm setting up the config for my email to send it out. So I'm using SMTP, and I'm using a Gmail. So ssl://smtp.gmail.com is that host. The outgoing port is 465 because I'm using SSL. This is my Gmail account that I created for this. The password, it's an HTML email. Start TLS has to be true, and the new line is set to \r\n. And then I'm loading the library email, and I'm passing in these config settings. And then I'm saying the email is coming from bishopstaskmanager@gmail.com, and then say the username that the email is coming from is whoever's completing the task. And then I'm sending the email to whoever created the task initially, so the task owner emails who's receiving it, and the subject is the task name concatenated with task has been completed, and then the message is task name has been completed, and then whoever's sending the email sends this message, and then whatever message they put into that form. And then I'm sending, if the email sends, then I'm saying send the user back to whatever page they came from. So if it was a manager, send them back to the create task view. If it was a team member, send them back to the task list view. And if the email doesn't send, then print out the email print debugger to find out why it's not working. And so I think that is about it for this week. Everything works. Everything works, so we can stand. Grid's good. My table works. You can still add, create a task. So if I create a new task, this final submission, create a zip file containing all project files to be submitted via FSO, and make a screen capture video to turn in as well. And that is due today, the 28th, so we'll create that task. And I'm about to go, as soon as I'm done recording this, I will be turning everything in, so I'll go ahead and complete this task. And this is the final. Don't forget to submit your work on FSO. Save changes. And that will send me an email. But it also, the completed task should be, final submission. Create a zip file containing all project files to be submitted via FSO. Make a screen capture video to turn in as well. And it will be completed today. And the user that I just completed it with was Stan. And Stan was also the user who I created it with, so I will receive an email from Stan that says Stan completed the message momentarily. So cool. Thank you very much. Have a great day. I also forgot to show you how I fixed the grid. So I fixed the grid by when I'm first I'm using a counter. I set the counter equal to 1, and then when I'm looping through the results to display all those panels, after I've printed the panel out, I've got this little PHP script that says if the counter modulus 2 is equal to 0. So if the counter is even, then put in an div with the class of clearfix, and then increase the counter by 1. If the counter is odd, then just increase the counter by 1 and go back and just input the next panel. And so that way they all come in no matter what. After every single, or every other, after every other panel, there's a clearfix. So there's a clearfix here. We can see that in. I just want to view page source. There it is. So yeah, after every second one, there's this div class clearfix, div class clearfix, and so that's what fixes my grid. Thank you very much. Have a great day.